We are not getting a divorce.
We are not getting a divorce.
We are not getting a divorce.
Wait for it.
Super
Divorce.
Hi, this is Super Divorce. Welcome you to the SUPERCAST.
Hey guys.
The Super Divorce SUPERCAST shit show edition.
Yeah, and it started in perfect shit show fashion where we had a little bit of technical issue, but hopefully it looks like this one's recording, so that's good.
Yep. This is take 2 of the cast.
Take 1. Nothing bad happened. I'm Robert S. Jallman Jr. I play guitar.
I'm Dale Jr. on bass.
I'm Bender and I programmed the drums.
I'm Nicholas Villars and I play vocals and I sing for the band.
Play vocals and sing.
And Bender was just talking earlier about how he's switched to programmable drums.
Yeah, I no longer actually play drums. Now I just program.
Well, we've actually given him a nickname, Little Drummer Machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's it. I gave up. I decided it was too much work to actually play drums. Now I just have one of those touchy keyboard pad thingies.
Yeah, a Chaos pad.
That.
Those things are cool, actually.
Or Chaos.
Chaos. I think it's spelled Kaoss, so I don't think you're getting Chaos out of that.
Well, that's the incorrect spelling.
Right. Well, it's like Mortal Kombat, you know?
Yeah.
It's, K's edgier than C, obviously.
Have you guys seen the characters they're adding to Mortal Kombat X?
Yes.
Cool.
We had a chat with that, or about that with Kirby.
Yeah.
And he wasn't backing it. He thought the alien was, he thought the version of the alien was kind of lame.
Thought it looked dumb.
But you have to... Well, first of all, he's wrong.
Well, it's at least
Second
got
of
the
all,
look of the guy in the suit from the first Alien. He doesn't look like the crawling version.
But the thing about xenomorphs is, like, whatever they impregnate, they take on the features of that thing, and the xenomorph in Mortal Kombat impregnates whatever Bracca's race is.
Oh, really? It does?
Yeah, that's why it's got the thing, because it fucking comes out of Bracca.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kirby. It's pretty cool.
On board.
I'll roll with that.
Yeah.
And that's a way to meld it with the Mortal Kombat universe, too.
Right.
So.
Hey, before we get going here, I would like to let everyone know just what we're doing here on the shit show tonight. And
did we say it was a shit show yet?
Yeah. I said
okay.
It was Super Saturday Shit Show.
Supercast Shit Show Edition.
Yeah, it's a shit show. We're changing the format up a little bit because we just have some new ideas moving forward, and we want the feel of the show to be a little more organic because everyone likes organic these days.
Yeah.
So all the fan letters we were getting said, please, more organic material.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to try and do. We're going to roll with one weekly topic per show, and of course we'll probably kind of get off on tangents a little bit, but we're going to try and stick to one thing and kind of tie that in with our video of the day that we post in the Divorce Club, and also I'm going to make sure that my portraits that I post on Instagram and then share to our Facebook page also tie in with the theme for the upcoming podcast.
We're basically doing ourselves a Secret Wars and revamping the Super Divorce universe.
Yeah.
So where it all ties in together.
Yeah.
Fucking Marvel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was going to say, for those of you who listen to the old podcast, the old I Love Sleep Star podcast, that was kind of a just off the cuff. It's not going to be quite that just random, but we'll have a topic and we'll just jump off, and rather than having the specific broken down segments where we don't get to spend a ton of time on each thing, now we can, if we have something we know we want to say a lot about, we can just go right into it and have a whole podcast about one topic. And
right.
If that topic interests you, then you'll have a lot of good content, and you'll be able to hear whether our opinions on it, whether you agree or disagree. And if you strongly disagree with us, we'd love to roundly debate you.
Wherever
make you feel like shit.
you want. We'll be giving out...
hit you on the head with a pool cue.
And
sure.
And you can win prizes somehow.
Yep.
We're going to figure that out, apparently.
But for the shit show, we're going to run a shit show every quarter. We're going to do a quarterly shit show.
And this will be a true back to roots, just fuck all.
But tonight we're doing I'd say it's a semi-shit show.
Okay.
Because there's a little bit of a theme running through it, and that is by the end of this program, we want to have decided on what our first new format podcast is going to be all about next week. So as we go along here,
clock's ticking.
Hopefully we'll have something for you by the end.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
hopefully
also
we'll have agreed on something, because we
hopefully.
could have many things, and we may, because it's a democratic process.
But then we could also disagree on everything, and then agree to have our first show be about disagreements.
How much we disagree.
About dysfunction and how much we despise each other in real life. And all this is a show, a sham, a flim-flam.
A mockery.
Yeah. A facade.
I remember Mike D'Antoni, when he was coaching the Lakers, when they were playing horribly, he said that the team was a sham mockery of what they should be.
He just combined those two words?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Because they both kind of mean, well, they're sort of different.
They're
not 100%. You would think you would punctuate it differently, though. It's a sham, it's a mockery. Like a pause, but it's a sham mockery.
I kind of like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, welcome to the shit show. And, one thing that I think really means a lot to everyone these days is death.
Yeah.
Death's big right now, isn't it?
Oh my god.
It's real hot right now.
We're sad about people dying. Don't confuse that, but just the fact that death exists, you kind of have to chuckle about it.
You can't deny it. Death is definitely in the news right now.
It's a hot topic.
Death in the news. You hear about death? People dying when they get disease.
We've got a whole...
We're all careening towards it.
But there's a whole... there's a whole slew of actors and actresses and famous people right now who are of a certain age where if you are in your late 60s to early 70s, or just late 60s on, really, you've got to be kind of looking over your shoulder right now, because I just read, 5 minutes ago when I opened Facebook, there was another actress who died today. 72-year-old woman who was on some TV show in the 50s. I don't remember her name, but
you think there's
look
some
it up for
I would imagine there's some PC assholes out there who are like, why does it matter so much when actors die? People die every day, and we don't hear about normal people dying. What would you say to that?
I would say normal people aren't celebrities. And,
they didn't star in cool movies.
Yeah, and we didn't grow up watching them on television and such.
There are
celebrities are...
Sometimes I think people forget that celebrities are artists in a way.
Yeah.
I mean...
So we have confirmed firsthand on Super Divorce Supercast Shit Show Volume 1 that celebrities are simply just more important than the rest of us. And I agree.
I would say you invite them into your life, right? And you care.
Yeah.
And they have a talent that not everybody possesses.
Fuck that. Let's just boil it down to Snape is cooler than the dude who works down the street at the post office, okay? Let's just say that.
To the average person, yes.
Absolutely.
I'm sure
Jim Joe Rogers down at the post office dies, who cares? But if Bowie dies, fucking Ziggy Stardust, the Thin White Duke, we care about that. And there's good reason, because the dude contributed something major to society.
Well, if I passed away this evening, I'm sure that my family and immediate circle would be heavily impacted, but the
and
world,
all the million fans of this show,
all the fans of our show, but
fans of our music that we haven't released yet.
But the multitudes around the world would not give a shit, and I wouldn't expect them to.
Correct.
So that's straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck that you don't give a fuck if I die.
I care if you die, though.
Well, yeah, but you guys, I was
speaking
consider
to
you
the
my
masses.
He's speaking
circle.
to the masses.
Yeah.
He doesn't care if the masses recognize his death.
No.
That's what he said.
Because I wouldn't expect them to. I haven't done anything for them.
Well, we're trying.
I'm trying, yeah.
Maybe we'd get famous if you died, Nick.
That might be.
We could arrange that.
Yeah. I'll keep a lookout.
We could fake your death, get huge, and then be like, just kidding.
He's back.
We could bill it as a resurrection too. We could.
Yeah.
We wouldn't just say you were back. We'd just simply say that you'd risen, and then we'd
just go from there.
Go from there.
By the way, it was Noreen Corcoran. She was 72, and she was the star of the television show Bachelor Father from 1957 to 1962.
Yeah,
I've never seen an episode of that.
Never seen them.
Don't.
But I'm sure that some people out there have, and that matters to them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't like that, then you can just
go fly a kite.
Yeah, that's right.
Row your boat.
Fly a kite.
Somebody on my...
That's too young for a woman. 72's. Mm-hmm. 69 is too young for anyone.
Yeah.
I look at the 60s age as, not to fall into that trend of, 60 is the new 50, but really it is. I mean, look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, 67, still rocking the guns, riding his bike everywhere. I mean, even Harrison Ford, he's 73, he's still kicking ass as Han Solo. He has to run in that movie, and it's not CGI. The dude's actually running.
Bender, do you
running
think,
and gunning.
Do you expect Han Solo to be for Harrison Ford to reprise his role as Han Solo in Episode 12?
No.
Do you think he'll star in the prequel about a young Han Solo?
He's done. He's done with Star Wars.
Yeah.
I think he's been done with Star Wars since Episode 4.
What if they cast him as the little boy version? Just
I read that
the
the anthology Solo movie of Han Solo is going to take place about 10 years before the events of A New Hope, in which Harrison Ford was 34 years old in 1977. So, how cool would it be if 75-year-old Harrison Ford was playing a 24-year-old Han Solo? Come on.
I think,
I'd like to hear one person make a case for it and one against it right now. Why don't we do that?
Oh. I mean, there's
gonna make a case against
I'm
it?
for it.
You're for it?
Let's do it.
I was hoping to hear Nick give his
no, I'm going to go
for it.
You're for it?
Sure.
I'm going to tell you why it won't
You're going to
work.
go Tron Legacy on us?
Tron Legacy,
Okay.
Yeah.
Give him some...
There's going to be a lot of action in this Han Solo movie. And action means a lot of physical work, a lot of labor, and a lot of long hours. And for one thing, Harrison Ford just can't hang. He can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
He would have a heart attack. If he somehow were able to get himself in shape, they're going to have to make him look young.
He's in shape.
He was, well, you never heard about these interviews where he's talking about how winded he is after every take.
This is made up.
And he was just
so made up.
He was done with it after about 3 days on set. He went to JJ and said, "Count me out." So
they had to give him some uppers to get him around.
Yeah,
they gave him some.
But that's not the crux of my point here. The biggest problem with Harrison Ford coming back for the young Han Solo is how they're going to make him look like a young boy. And the way they're going to do that is you got these Hollywood magicians out there who are going to try and put all this makeup on him and then have him run around everywhere. And when he starts sweating, all that makeup's going to start running off. And you're going to see right through it. And in certain shots, he's going to look 25. In others, he's going to look like an old man. It's not going to make any sense. So, to me, I would leave it alone and go out and find a real young kid who can come in and play that role just the way that he did.
The way you're talking about it sounds like it's not going to be a 24-year-old Han Solo. You're thinking of casting maybe like a 15-year-old to play a 25-year-old Han Solo.
Yeah.
So would you have a 15-year-old with makeup to make him look 25?
Well, no, because you're going to run into the same issues with the makeup dripping off. And then
so how would you make him look older?
Well,
get an old-looking 15-year-old?
No, well, you would start there, but then, certain lifestyles and in certain circumstances that people go through will age them very quickly.
Okay,
so
very
I would
stressed out 15-year-old.
I would make sure that if he wasn't a smoker, that he became one very quickly, and get him to smoke a lot, and then also make his life very, very stressful.
Yeah.
For about a year before they shoot.
Just have an air horn wake him up in the middle of the night every maybe 25 minutes.
Yeah.
A soccer horn goes off in his ear.
Dump ice water on him.
Give him that those nice light bags under the eyes. Not too bad, because we're going for 25, not 35. We don't want to overshoot it.
Dale, who's a good 15-year-old to cast as Han Solo?
I'm trying to think of a good star that's like kicking it right now. It's around that age.
Well, why don't we say this? Why don't we say let's just say it doesn't have to be a 15-year-old playing a 25-year-old, because let's face it, that is the ideal thing to do. But let's say you have to go with the true age. Someone between 20 and 30.
Well, why don't you give both? Because I still want to hear your 15-year-old. And then you can give Bob his mid-20s.
Bullshit.
Yeah. It's not even going to work. But, just
15-year-old that could pull off Han Solo. Because Han Solo's got a real attitude. I'm trying to think of someone who's got the edge to do.
Yeah.
We range in age from 23 to 30. So... we're not really up to snuff, I would say, on our 15-year-olds.
Child actors are right
I know. I'm trying.
I was thinking of the kid from Jurassic World.
Maybe he doesn't have to be an actor. A musician.
I don't know any.
Another celebrity.
Justin Bieber is not 15 anymore. He's like 20 now or 21.
How about the Jonas
I'm pretty
Boys?
sure he's like 25.
Whatever, dude. Are we still saying no Google
21.
on the show?
How
old's Justin Bieber?
Justin Bieber is 21.
Oh, yeah.
21.
We've got to figure out a 15-year-old.
Yeah, J. Beebs is too old to play a young Han Solo.
I don't know any 15-year-old.
Too old to play a 25-year-old.
Or 15-year-old. I don't know any old 15-year-old kids.
I know.
Drake Bell's old now too. What the fuck?
What do you think about?
And he got a DUI.
Here to throw back. What do you think about the kid who played Anakin Skywalker?
Ooh.
Get him to play the
He's
young
like
Solo.
our age.
He also got a DUI.
I didn't care for him too much either, to be honest. No, I didn't.
What if we got Jonathan Lipnicki to play?
Who's that?
Han Solo,
Pretty sure
the
he's
little kid from Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, he can't be any older.
An
than
AI?
15.
And AI.
You're way
He's
off.
gotta be.
He's old
He's
now.
gotta be in his 20s too.
He's in yoga hosers, and
No, he's probably around the
30 years
same.
old.
No, he's around the
that's
same
Haley
age.
Joel
Haley
Osment.
Joel Osment. Yeah, but
I'm talking Jonathan Lipnicki.
he's another young boy.
Lipnicki is old now too. He's in his 20s.
Nah, he never left his child stage.
Okay. Well. Are we? Because I'll be I will literally Google fuck everyone right now and screw up your ideas of how old people are.
No, we can't. We can't open that.
Okay,
door.
how about simple math? Let's just go by the movie. The Phantom Menace came out in 1999. The kid plays a 9-year-old.
Yeah, but he was much younger than 9.
Let's say he was just Let's say he's a newborn.
I think he was only about 3 years old.
That would mean he was born in 96, so he'd be 20 years old. You're underestimating how old we are right now. People born in the mid-90s are in their 20s now, almost. I mean, 96 and prior, you're over 20.
I didn't think they filmed... they didn't actually film Phantom Menace until 2001.
It came out in 99.
Well...
Attack of the Clones came out in 2002, and Revenge of the Sith came out in 2005.
I think your dates are off. But I still want to hear Dale's 15-year-old.
Okay.
The only 15-year-old-ish actor that I can think of who's good and could kill it might be whatever the kid's name is in The Walking Dead. Carl.
Okay, Carl.
Coral.
Coral.
Dead.
He can't be a day over 12, though. He's a little too young.
He's got to be 15 or 16.
He's probably...
He's 15.
I'm saying he's around 10 or 11 right now.
Maybe when the show started.
Have you seen The Walking Dead recently? He's at least 16.
He's currently
I don't need to have seen The Walking Dead to know that kid is not 15 years old.
He's on the cover of girly magazines already.
He's going through puberty on the show, and it's awkward.
Yeah, you go through puberty
I
around
know,
10,
but
11
it's
years old.
It's
That's
just
when I went through it.
I've only ever seen the first season, but I recently saw an episode from, what's the latest season? Season 6?
I got my first testicle hair when I was 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is...
Yeah.
Growing up on screen.
Yeah, it's
interesting.
Okay, so we got
an 11-year-old who's disqualified because he's not old enough to play young
he'll
Han
be
Solo.
okay. We got...
That's the only, teenage actor that I can think of.
What about the kid from Jurassic World? We haven't even brought him up.
I've never even seen that.
He's a younger James Franco.
Yeah, he's a good-looking dude.
Yeah, he's got that slicked back, nice brown hair.
He'll do.
I saw him on Conan. He's a nice young boy.
You know, he's a better actor than Coral. Let's go with that guy.
For sure.
Yeah, Coral's not a very good actor.
I've never even seen The Walking Dead, and I know that Coral's a bad actor.
I don't even know who this Jurassic World kid is.
I don't know his name, but
I would actually
good in the movie, though.
see you could get the kid from the original Jurassic Park. He might be a good.
That kid's got to be older than every one of us here combined.
No.
He was 10 in 1993, so...
No, he wasn't that old.
He was at least 10.
No, he was probably my age.
He was
probably about 6 or 7.
I was going to say 3 or 4.
Well...
Conservative estimate, 1 or 2.
I feel like he was probably 6 months old.
Well, that would still put him at, 22, 23 years old, so he's... If we're going in the realistic range to play young Han Solo. Okay, so we got our actor. It's going to be Carl from Walking Dead or the kid from Jurassic World. It's going to be the 15-year-old version. Mm-hmm. But who's going to be the mid-20s actor that you would cast as a mid-20s Han Solo, which we know is very far-fetched that they're going to do that, but... I believe Jonah Hill is in his 30s, but...
Still looks like he's in his 20s.
Well, Michael Cera.
I think he's older, too.
Michael Cera is older than... Michael Cera is my age, almost exactly.
What about
Christopher might be a year younger.
Class?
Who's that?
Nick
We're just going with the cast of Superbad now.
How about Chloe Grace Moretz?
To play young Han Solo?
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
She was in Kick-Ass, and she's in Let Me In.
So you want a girl to play Han Solo?
No.
What about Aaron Johnson from Kick-Ass?
Hey, why are we glossing over the obvious choice here?
Who, Brad Pitt?
Well...
Who is the obvious choice?
You opened my eyes with that one. I think he's a little too young for the role.
Yeah,
I know he's in his early 20s. But...
Yeah. He's up and
does anyone remember Indiana Jones, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
Yeah,
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Hey,
I would be down with
young
that.
Han Solo,
I could
Shia
get into
LaBeouf.
that. Yeah, I could get into that.
They
I
tried to
enjoy
make him into a young Indy, but the bad writing, it wasn't his fault that the Mutt Williams character didn't catch on,
I enjoy his work, and I was a big fan of Even Stevens, so I would sign off on that.
I was a big fan of the Do It video he put out. I think his style of humor, the kind of meta, he knows he's famous, so he just fucks with people.
That video wasn't even all funny. I think it was motivational.
Well, it got me off my ass the first time I saw it. I went right to the gym and did a nice bench press workout.
Listening to the audio clip of that on repeat.
It's unorthodox.
Over the theme that plays in all the Saw movies, the dun-dun-dun, 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 dun-dun-dun.
That's a good song.
Yep, I'll get you going.
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf motivating you.
Our mid-20s, well, Shia LaBeouf may be in his late teens, but we'll gloss over that.
Yeah.
And just say he's able to play young Han Solo. So who's your pick, Nick, for the youthful Han Solo reboot? People were saying Chris Pratt for a while, but we know it's going to take place 10 years before A New Hope, and Chris Pratt is in his mid-30s, so he's 36. And he's already Star-Lord, who's essentially Han Solo in a different universe, so...
I hope they cast an unknown, in
An
all
unknown.
honesty.
What if
That's
they,
probably your best bet.
What if they
yeah.
brought
But you're about to make a case for why Harrison Ford's going to play a young Han Solo.
No, I just want them to pull a Star Trek and have him show up from the future, Leonard Nimoy style.
What if they brought in Dean Ambrose?
Dean Ambrose is a young Han Solo. He does kind of have that weird crooked grin
rugged
thing.
look about
Yeah.
him. How's Dean Ambrose's acting skills?
Well, I haven't seen 12 Rounds 4.
I've heard it was the best 12 rounds. I actually want to watch it.
I want to see Ambrose act, I think
do.
that'd be intriguing.
He was good in the Terminator commercial.
Yeah, he was. When he put out the cigar on Arnold's shoulder there.
Yeah.
He played the bar dickhead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Bar,
Fuck you.
Barfly.
Yeah.
Is that what he'd be in the credits? Barfly #1.
So we're not going to go with Harrison Ford CGI'd to look younger, which is what I wanted you to make a case for, but you're now refusing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a case for it.
Okay.
Here's why Harrison Ford CGI'd to look younger is going to work, in my opinion. The man is still physically fit. No matter what you say about him, you're trying to bring him down, make him look like this old geezer. He's running, half marathons every few weeks. He'll go out and just run a half marathon. He doesn't enter into the race. He'll just show up and run it. A lot of times, either win or finish second or third. Guy's in great shape. If you ever see him in jeans and t-shirt, he's got a very nice muscular physique. He looks like a man much younger than he is. So you erase some of those lines on his face, man, and you don't have to recast the iconic character of Han Solo and worry about somebody mucking it up. One of your new actors, these young kids like Shia LaBeouf and Brad Pitt that are up and comers that can't hang with the original Han Solo.
How about Justin Long?
I just don't think he's got it. I can't picture him in the role. That's why you do the Tron Legacy, you CGI Harrison Ford's face and smooth it out a little bit.
What if you brought in...
have him running around the universe and...
Here's one for you. Bring in Jeff Bridges and CGI him to a young Jeff Bridges to play young Han Solo.
That would be my second choice to Harrison Ford being CGI'd to look younger, playing a younger Han Solo. Because I could have seen a young Jeff Bridges play that character. I think he would have. Also, Kurt Russell's audition for Han Solo was pretty impressive too.
Yeah,
he could have been it's hard to say that now because Harrison Ford's such a household name, but I think Kurt Russell could have done it. What do you guys think?
Kurt Russell.
He definitely auditioned for Han Solo. You can watch it on YouTube. And he actually, he's wearing, like, the vest and stuff.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can
it's
see
not
that.
bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty decent,
I can picture it. It's just, like, when you have a character like that, that's so iconic, it's so...
Well, that's why we're not going to recast him. We're going to go with CGI Harrison Ford.
I think that at this point they should just call the movie off.
Yeah, honestly, that might be better because none of these ideas are appealing to me.
No,
if we're being real now,
well, that's why they should cast an unknown or an up and comer, much like the kid in the new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah,
like that probably is going to be cool because nobody fucking knows who that kid is. I don't think Tom Holland is not his name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like they're gonna know him.
They're gonna. I think it's cool. I think it's cool that like he's just kind of coming out of nowhere,
Any athletes?
I don't know anything.
There's not really that. Maybe I've been out of the world of sports for too long, but I don't think anybody really has the charisma.
Tom Brady?
No.
Tom Brady came out in support of he who will not be named on this show for fear of giving him free press. And I don't like that. So I no longer am in support of Tom Brady.
He did?
It wasn't like a full-blown, I like this guy. It was like a, he's not bad kind of thing. Like, I dig him in a way. Yeah, it was, I'd love to hear the actual soundbite, but...
Did you see the little girls singing and dancing video?
Yes, I did.
Jesus
and I don't
Christ.
even want to...
God. Man.
Shit's just, But, yeah, we don't want to give press to anybody, to our...
But if you like that guy, then...
Thousands of fans, but... yeah, if you like He Who Will Not Be Named, you should probably just shut this show off.
Yeah, you're not going to like a lot of what we have to say if you're... Call him Fart Boy.
Yeah, Fart Boy.
Because in the UK, that's what his last name means.
Trump? Oh, yeah. Fart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man, I said his name. Well, shit.
It's headed in context of farting. So.
That's true.
I trumped.
Yeah, I'm going to start saying that, actually, every time I fart.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be, like, really big, nasty farts, which are the majority of my farts.
Yeah.
Which we all know.
At least you normally leave the room.
Yeah, I'm at least, I'm not that guy who just shits himself and laughs about how everybody has to sit there in the stink.
Well, I learned about trumping from Jerry Jackson videos.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's too bad more people don't know that here.
Yeah.
I feel like that's some good
political fodder there. Yeah.
Good for some muck raking. Did you learn about muck raking in school?
No? But it sounds fun.
Yeah,
they take a rake and go out in the muck and just rake it around, huh?
Yeah, that was like the phrase they came up with for that style of political propaganda when it first started happening. Where instead of talking about the issues and what you plan to do, you just talk shit about the other candidate.
Yeah.
And you muck rake.
Well, that seems to be the majority of what they do now.
Yeah.
It's not talking about why you should vote for me, it's why you should not vote for the other person.
Yeah.
Because they're a dick. I've heard that Hillary Clinton's new strategy is to try to say that Mr. Bernie Sanders is too old. Mm-hmm. And try to say, don't vote for him, he's too old, he could die in office.
If you, Bender, if you had to write in one inanimate candidate for president, what would it be?
Inanimate, not a person.
Yeah, I know what fucking inanimate.
Well,
A statue of Paul Bunyan.
Statue of Paul Bunyan.
He represents strength and patriotism and pioneering spirit.
And he's got a big blue ox.
Mm-hmm. That would be the VP, I guess.
Yeah. He's got a big axe, too.
Yeah.
He's got an ox and an axe.
Yeah.
I guess you could call him Mr.
Ox-axe.
Dale?
Or Axe Ox.
For president?
Yeah.
Inanimate object.
Yeah.
I will go with a bacon cheeseburger. I think that is exactly what this country needs.
Bacon cheeseburger.
Great. VP?
Hold on. Before we go there,
prize.
does the bacon cheeseburger have to be from any particular restaurant? Or is it a homemade bacon and cheese?
It's not a particular place, but here's the places that it cannot be from. It cannot be from McDonald's.
Could it be a Wendy's Junior Bacon? Or
Not
would it have to be a
not
Baconator?
Junior,
If it's from Wendy's, it would have to be the Baconator because that's like the most serious sandwich there. That it takes its job the most serious out of all their sandwiches.
That's funny.
It can't be from Wendy it cannot be from McDonald's.
No McDonald's.
Cannot be from Burger King.
No Burger King.
I would prefer a higher quality than fast food.
How about Red Robin?
Yeah,
Red
Robin.
Yum.
That could work. That'd be like one of those like.
What about Steak and Shake?
No.
Frisco Melt. Well, that's not bacon
Frisco
cheeseburger.
Melt. It's so good. That's not a bacon
That's
cheeseburger.
That might be my favorite
Red
burger.
Robin could work.
You seem slightly...
Well, you know what? Because I've never really been impressed with Red Robin.
Really?
Yeah, it's okay.
I love Red Robin.
It's okay.
I'm a big Red Robin fan.
I worked at a burger place called Flip Daddy's there for a little while, and I always thought that Flip Daddy's had better burgers than Red Robin.
So
did.
you would...
But I'm not saying theirs are the best.
Okay.
I don't know.
But out of all of the bacon burgers you've eaten, would you nominate Flip Daddy's to the seat of the presidency before all the others?
Flip Daddy's bacon cheeseburger.
For president?
For president.
That's not the best bacon cheeseburger I've ever had. The best bacon cheeseburger I've ever had is from a little restaurant in downtown Mason called Wildflower. Mm-hmm. Completely like organic restaurant. They like grow all their own veggies like in their little greenhouse. That's the best burger I've ever had. I will vote for them.
Okay.
Wildflower bacon cheeseburger. You got my vote for president.
And fries.
With some fries.
Fries is the VP?
Yeah.
Okay. See, this sucks because this is making me hungry now. Not that I'm going to go out and get a bacon cheeseburger. I partake of a plant-based diet. But let me see. Inanimate object?
Yeah.
For president of the U.S.
Yeah.
When I was growing up as a child, one of my dearest memories was playing with action figures a lot, and sometimes they weren't actually action figures. Sometimes they were just little statues that you were supposed to just stand on your little desk or your mantle or something, and I would use them as action figures anyway. And I had a little cast iron Batman, Michael Keaton version, and I would like to nominate him for president of the U.S. Cast iron Michael Keaton Batman.
Who's his VP?
His VP would probably be my Terminator action figure. On his hand, it was an Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator, so a T-800, and there was a little lever on his arm that you would press towards his fist, so it would just kind of slide towards his fist, and what looked like a metal stick would just come out of his knuckles, which never happened in the movie. But that action figure would be my VP.
Okay.
So,
what about you?
I'd like to mention that the cast iron Michael Keaton Batman that I had was about 1.5 inches tall.
How big was the Terminator?
The Terminator was about 6 inches.
Okay.
So, but the little boy, he's made out of cast iron, so he's very strong, so he could take out the biggest action figures in the bunch.
So that's kind of the symbology.
Yes. It's like Yoda.
Yeah.
You know, Luke thinks he's looking for a great warrior in Dagobah, and Yoda kind of takes his expectations and flushes them right down the toilet with yesterday's doo-doo. So, or throws them in the trash with yesterday's junk.
Dale, what was the symbology behind the bacon cheeseburger?
You know what?
How would it inspire the people?
He's thinking about eating one.
Yeah,
right
well,
now,
that's a big one because that just sounds delicious. But, well, honestly, like from a little bit from like watching some of the debates that I've watched, you know what? A bacon cheeseburger makes just as much sense to me as some of the things that these candidates say and do, and
If you use the
bacon cheeseburger
flour,
won't bargain. It won't give in to terrorism. It won't budge on the issues.
No.
Hearty,
but not from Hardee's.
Oh God!
No.
Hardee's is awesome.
Are you fucking serious, dude? I will have a straight up Democrat Repub debate with you about how terrible Hardee's is.
I don't think Hardee's is terrible.
I enjoy it.
Last time I had it was in Tennessee.
I rarely eat it, but when I do, I very much.
I ate there on a family trip to Disney World. I got food poisoning from a Monster Burger when I was 12. So that was when the Monster Burger
your whole
first
life
came out.
or anything.
Well, it was cold bacon. The bacon was like half cooked. I mean, come on. Hardee's, you need to do something to impress me right now.
Well, when's the last time you gave him a
go
shot?
back to a Hardee's.
Well, like, what can I eat inside a Hardee's?
Whatever you want.
6 months ago,
Well, I
you could have
can't.
eaten inside
I don't
a
eat.
Hardee's.
Well, I don't eat meat anymore. So,
when you start eating meat again, go get a
well,
Hardee's.
I'm not gonna start eating meat again.
Well, they also
You're
have
missing out.
they have some vegetarian options as well.
Well, I'm not a vegetarian either.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Well, I'm nominating a fucking. I'm going to nominate.
Oh man, I didn't want to have this conversation on our podcast until somebody was like, "Why the fuck aren't you drinking milk or eating eggs anymore?" But
You don't eat eggs either?
no.
You have
Done.
given people shit for this diet.
Well,
so
You're a hypocrite.
I was
actually
wrong.
seen the shit being tossed around.
Well, here's the thing. New shit came to light for me, and I made a career choice of sorts, and here we are. So, and still looking pretty big these days. I flexed for the microphone, so the power of that flex hopefully comes through on the podcast. So, there we go.
Do you eat fish?
No, fish is not a vegetable.
I realized
As much as
I was just asking, because there's like some people who don't eat meat, but they still eat fish for whatever goddamn reason.
I live that lie.
pescatarian.
Yeah.
Pescatarian.
Yes.
Sounds like a religion.
It's a lie.
Sounds like it.
It makes sense.
So yeah, for dietary reasons.
Yeah.
But if you're stopping eating meat for moral reasons, it doesn't make sense to me.
Well,
and I mean, we don't need to.
You're not
I mean, we can have
eating
this
PETA?
conversation. No, it's not that. I just don't want to. I don't want to consume animal shit anymore. I don't think it's good for you. I think the whole milk industry's is almost as bad as eating meat for what they do to the fucking cows, getting them pregnant constantly and just sucking the milk out of their teats all day long. It's if you saw it, it's not. I would never impose this upon anybody. I'm not saying that just because I stopped partaking in animal products that I'm going to run around and tell people I'm the worst ever. You guys know this, carrying around fucking chicken in my little containers and stuff. But people can change, and that's what I want to do. So, step one, giving a little... Doing something a little bit different in the new year.
Who gets your vote? Nick.
What inanimate object are you nominating for president?
Or what?
This is one that I came up with years ago, actually.
Years ago?
Yeah. Yeah, he's... I don't know. Go see what he wants in a sec.
Son of a bitch. Oh man, can I change mine?
No.
Can I change it?
No.
Since I can't change it, can I tell you what I would change it to?
Because that's changing it.
No, it's not changing it.
It's
what I would change it to.
You're having like voters remorse right now. Voters remorse right now. What would you change it to?
Are you gonna allow me this?
Yeah,
I'm gonna redeem myself.
Just as long as you know.
I feel like the whole
as long as
vegan,
you know that it's not actually being changed.
The whole plant-based diet thing really kind of derailed our fun, so I want to get back on the fun train.
I'm still having fun.
I'm having fun.
My vote would be, if I was able to write in a new candidate, it would be a VHS copy of The Three Amigos.
I've never seen it.
On VHS.
It has to be
on DVD.
No. But that would be my vote.
Who would your VP be?
Yeah.
If that
VP would be a VCR, so I could watch it.
They work well together.
Yeah, they do.
They bring a lot of good stuff to the table when the two are paired together.
I have a feeling that Nick's going to be very disappointed with you guys letting me, at least... I know I can't change my vote, so I'm going to stick with my cast iron, Michael Keaton Batman, but I just wanted you guys to know that there are a million possibilities, and if I were to be asked that question before I gave my answer, it would be a VHS copy of Three Amigos with the running mate, a VCR, a working VCR.
I still haven't heard Nick's vote. I'm curious because he said he established this years ago. He's been thinking about this for a long time.
Nick's just mulling over the fact that he's been watching me fucking down like every turkey burger imaginable for the last 3 years. He's just, I can tell how disappointed he is.
I don't give a fuck about your diet. Eat whatever you want to. Be
pussy.
You could change to foraging only, and I would give you a thumbs up.
Are there people like that?
Foragers?
Yeah,
I'm sure in certain parts of the world.
Do you think there's some kind of liberal like hierarchy of vegetarian and veganism where there's one group that's just like, nope, if you don't forage, you're fucking everybody up, because
I'm sure,
because when they grow these crops, they're destroying the world and stuff. So lessening your footprint would be to walk around the forest and find some non-poisonous fungus to.
The best way to do it is to actually not walk. You set up an elaborate pulley system in the forest so you can.
But the pulley system could trip up a fawn.
No, it's connected to the tree branches up top.
Okay.
So you pull yourself along the canopy of the forest. You collect things that you find and eat them.
Okay.
Maybe they're not good for you, but at least you're not hurting the environment.
Right.
So.
I've heard dried leaves in the fall are a big favorite among foragers.
Well, you have that kind of crunch from a potato chip, but it's
sprinkle a little sea salt on there.
Yeah. The best way to get salt is to actually work yourself up into a nice sweat and then just
rub your sweat onto the leaf.
Yeah, and that way it's all natural and you're not leaving a footprint.
Yeah. Except for when you have to walk up to the pulley system. But there's a system in which, before you leave the house, you actually put dirt and grass into your pockets. And then when you climb up onto the pulley system, you look back down onto your footprints and you just kind of drop some soil back into where you stepped.
Or the pulley goes from your window, so you don't have to walk on the ground.
That made me think of Home Alone.
Yeah, it's like that.
On the rope out the window.
Yeah.
That looked so fucking fun to me as a kid.
Yeah. I
always wanted to do that.
Okay, but my pick for Prez, I came up with this during maybe the 2004 election.
When you knew John Kerry wasn't going to beat Bush.
Yeah, and I think
it would have been interesting because his fucking running mate was John Edwards.
Yeah,
and we all know what happened to him.
Yeah. Well, I think I said that I was going to cast my vote for a bag of Mike Sell's potato chips.
Oh yeah, Mike Sell's.
Probably just regular.
Not the barbecue?
No.
I like the barbecue
Those
ones.
are good, yeah.
It's a very unique barbecue chip.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really get that kind of spicy barbecue out of anybody. Spicy sweet.
Yeah, sweet and spicy.
Mm-hmm.
I would go with the bag of Mike Sell's potato chips, and for the running mate, I would choose just one of the blue racquetballs.
Really?
Yeah.
Why the pair together?
They always bounce back.
Well, that's something, and then with the bag of potato chips, I think it's a great. It's just a great representation of discipline and valor, because you would have this bag of potato chips that you cannot open and eat. This is your president, you know.
So that assassination.
He just sits in the Oval Office,
mm-hmm.
and then everybody who's on his staff has to kind of drop documents on his desk and stuff, or carry him to his next meeting.
Yeah. Sometimes when they're hungry.
Yeah.
But you could never break that seal.
You have to refrain from eating the president.
Do you think anybody would try to maybe go out and buy a bag of Mike Sell's, sneak it into the Oval Office, eat the president, and replace him with another bag of Mike Sell's?
Well, I would hope security would not let that happen. But
you would never know, I don't think.
Well, I think you could
what
know.
What if they
I'm
implanted
sure
a chip into into the president chips?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Off topic, but my bank that I work at, in the new year, we're going to be switching to chip-based debit cards.
I can't wait.
And the slogan is "Dip the chip." So when you swipe your card, you'll be dipping your chip into a card reader now.
Well, only if the card reader is positioned in the right way.
I know that.
You know?
Well, I didn't write the slogan.
I know, but that's stupid. They can't account for how everyone's going to have their machine set up.
That's right, because some of them will still be swipes.
Well, not only that, but even if they're just at the wrong angle, you'd have to slide, not dip.
Not dip, yeah. It'd have to be a vertically oriented machine.
And most of them that I've seen, you insert the card like in the bottom, so you're pushing it up into the card reader.
You're not dipping the chip, you're inserting it.
Yeah.
So it loses its catchiness.
I've never dipped my chip from the bottom up, like moving vertically. It's always a downward motion. That's dipping.
Like
this isn't dipping,
right?
Is it?
No.
Even if you could, I mean, like I guess if you had like sour cream and onion dip, where
and it was in a waterfall.
Huh?
It was like a waterfall sour cream and onion fountain.
Well, yeah,
this whole food thing is making me really hungry.
Well, I was just thinking if the dip was, if it had the consistency so that you could turn it upside down, it wouldn't fall out.
Right.
Then you could just hold the container upside down and then dip your chip from the bottom, moving upwards. But that's so.
Or you could do a handstand and insert your card while your body's inverted.
Yeah.
So your perspective would be different.
I don't like that slogan.
Dip the chip. Well, it's not actually my company's slogan. It's the slogan of, like, you know, the company that's producing the chip cards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
dip the chip. Not good. We're gonna say no on dip the chip.
Yeah.
Are we any closer to having next week's podcast topic?
No.
I had one thought come to mind. Earlier, I was actually going to say...
What about Rule 34?
No. That's not what I was going to say. I was going to say the career of Haley Joel Osment.
Oh, that could be interesting. That would take a little research on our ends. We could compare. We could do that, or we could.
What if we did a comparison of Haley Joel Osment and
Jonathan Lipnicki and did a parallel and saw who came out the victor, really, because they were on top at roughly the same time, or around within a couple years of each other.
What if it was a versus?
Yeah,
episode.
See who wins.
Yeah. You draw the parallels between the two careers, see where they are now, where they've been, where they're going, and then you decide who's the more viable candidate for the young Han Solo movie.
Between those two. Alright, I think we should... Let's keep that...
I'm going to warn anybody who's going to be backing Haley Joel Osment. Jonathan Lipnicki posted a selfie like a year ago, and he's like ripped now.
And it was his last ever selfie.
Yeah. He was like all sweaty and shirtless, and he's like jacked.
Well,
Haley Joel Osment's like 300 pounds.
Yeah, but he's been working with Kevin Smith, so I automatically think he's cooler than Jonathan Lipnicki.
Yeah, that could be true, and you can always put him into training and get him to... Or you could have the storyline be that young Han Solo had a weight problem and didn't gain his confidence.
Could have made that Kessel run 5 parsecs faster if he wasn't so overweight.
Right. That's a good point. Well, that you'll have to tune in next week to get the...
Well, I don't know. We're not deciding yet.
That's true.
But I think that's a good option to keep around. So, I would say you have to piss.
Well, do they do that during the Bob and Tom show?
I'll hear him get up and leave.
You'll hear him get up and walk out?
Yeah.
Because there's no way they can do that whole show without getting up and going to the bathroom. It's hours long.
There's commercial breaks.
Yeah, that's true.
That too, and
I've heard a lot of podcasts where the guests will literally how's going to the bathroom work? Just go to the bathroom. You're like, we're going to be here for 3 hours. Go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's an uncomfortable level of needing to piss.
Go for it.
Go take care of that.
I don't know how much time we have left, but...
we can do, I would say another half hour. Yeah. So, what happened there?
I don't know, this seat's a little...
Yeah, it's not the greatest chair.
Yeah, I thought it was going to let me go there for a second. But we're good.
Alright, good. Has anyone seen Star Wars again recently?
No.
I was going to go again this week. And then
I did get to see 2 new movies last weekend. I saw The Revenant and The Hateful Eight.
Nice.
Both 2 days in a row. I had a great weekend.
How would you rate both of them?
Both of them were fantastic movies. Really, really good. The Revenant, so intense. Super, super intense movie. Leonardo DiCaprio is a monster. He doesn't even have that many lines in that movie. He doesn't really speak that much. It's all just acting, and it's insane. There's a scene where there's a bear attack, and it is hard to watch. It feels real. Obviously, it's not, but it is. Whew, they did a really good job. He deserves his Oscar for that one.
How about Hateful Eight?
Hateful Eight. If you like Quentin Tarantino's style of writing and directing, it is brilliant. I could see some people, like, if you don't like the movie, like Reservoir Dogs, for instance, a lot of dialogue. They're kind of in the warehouse basically the entire movie. Yeah. And I could see, if you don't like that, Hateful Eight's probably not for you. It's like the whole movie is a 3-hour movie, and it takes place in like 2 different scenes, so to speak. They're in a horse-drawn carriage, just 4 people talking, and then they're locked in a cabin with like 8 people, and that's the whole movie essentially. It's really, really good dialogue.
It's my favorite part about Tarantino's
stuff. It's just, and just the way he films it is so good, and it's really, really good. And then, like, shit hits the fan. It's like unexpectedly and out of nowhere, and it's awesome.
I didn't know Tim Roth was in it.
Yes.
And I'm very excited because I love Tim Roth.
How badass is Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell is awesome in that movie. Okay. He plays a real dickhead.
That's what I was hoping
really
for.
Good. Yeah.
Okay.
Plays a guy that not many people could get along with, kind of guy.
Speaking of movies where you don't switch scenery very often, two that come to mind that I really enjoy are Phone Booth 1. Have you ever heard of seeing that?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it. I know Kiefer Sutherland's in it, isn't he?
Yeah.
And so is Colin Farrell?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's very intense.
I've heard it's very good.
It's basically like Kiefer Sutherland is like a hitman, basically, and he has Colin Farrell like trapped in a phone booth for the entire movie, and he's talking to him on the phone. And basically he's like, if you leave or if you tell anyone what's going on, then I'll shoot you. And so it's the whole movie is him trying to figure out what he's going to do. Yeah. Another one is I think it's called Buried
with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, which I thought just when I heard the concept, it was like, how the fuck can you make a movie interesting where a guy is just like in a box for an hour and a half? But it was a really good movie.
They did it.
I've never seen it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That just means the dialogue's really good. If that can carry an entire movie, then it's just really well written. If just speaking can draw your attention like that.
Bob, did you ever see Phone Booth or Buried?
No, but I was just going to bring up that concept of a story being so small and self-contained. There's actually, I think, a movie with Hayden Christensen where he's got locked-in syndrome. Mm-hmm. So he's completely paralyzed, can't move or talk or do anything, but he's completely aware, and they operate on him.
It's called Awake, I think.
Awake, yeah. So he gets operated on while he's completely can feel everything. So they're just like cutting him open and he's screaming on the inside. It's horrifying.
Yeah, but I think that he also I think in that movie that they also sort of project him walking around the hospital. Like he's not. It's not just an hour and a half of him being operated on.
I've never seen the film.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not saying it's supernatural, but he's not just on a table the whole time.
His consciousness.
Other stuff happens, and I'm pretty sure Mila Kunis is in that movie. I think some chick is in it with him.
I have an idea for a movie where it takes place at a buffet line.
Well, there's the Seinfeld episode that takes place all in a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
Waiting for the table.
Yeah.
Cartwright!
Cartwright! I say Cartwright!
Maybe great.
No one say anything. I hang up.
Yeah, that's true.
She say
about 3 different locations in Gravy.
Yeah, Gravy. That I think we talked about that briefly on a past show.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was inside of the restaurant for pretty much the whole time.
Corey, I could go through oodles of horror movies that take place in one,
Oh, I just watched The Final Girls, by the way.
How was it?
It was really good.
When 2015 was coming to an end, people were posting their top 10 lists and stuff, a lot of horror pages doing that. And Final Girls was showing up on every top 10 list.
Pretty surprisingly touching at times. Really? Yeah. So
I'm excited to see it.
Maybe you can take that home with you tonight.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
A little door prize.
Have you seen the movie Frozen, where it takes place on the ski lift?
Oh,
it's people stuck on a ski lift and below 0 temperatures.
There's also Open Water that takes place. There's also ATM. ATM has Josh Peck in it from Drake and Josh.
Oh, yeah.
And it's where 3 people go into this. It's an outdoor ATM, but it's enclosed, and it's just an ATM. And then outside, some guy kills another guy, and then just stands there and waits for them to leave the ATM room to kill them because they're all witnesses now. There's 3 people in there, and so they try to figure out how to
in the vestibule.
Yeah, it's almost it's a smaller, but it's similar to a rest stop on the highway.
Oh, gotcha.
It's kind of
I know what you're talking about.
All glass windows and just one ATM, but
yes,
you kind of move around a little bit.
For it.
Yeah.
It's called a vestibule.
Oh, that is it? Oh,
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that.
And if you were to take some soup in there, you would have some vestibules. Something to keep in mind for all you travelers. And
That's the best joke. That's all podcast.
Did you get that, Dale?
No.
Me neither.
you didn't get it?
I don't get vestibule soup. What does
Because
that
it
mean?
sounds like vegetable.
Yeah, it's like a vegetable.
What do you mean you didn't get it?
I didn't. I didn't get vegetable
What's
out
not
of.
to get?
I didn't get vegetable out of vestibule. I've heard the word vestibule. I know what it means. So I was thinking.
Yeah, you take your
I
soup
thought that
out.
was a Class A dad joke.
Totally
Class
missed me
A.
and Dale.
Thank you.
I had to check with Dale to make sure I wasn't the only retarded one in the room, and Dale was like, I didn't get it either. So
I mean, I guess I understood the vestibule.
I didn't.
Okay.
So maybe you're not on the same
I
page.
guess
as me.
you are the only retarded person in the room.
Well, I know what a vestibule is. I thought a vestibule was the thing you go in to confess your sins to a priest. That's called a vestibule too.
Well, maybe it's just. I think it's any
It's an
That's-
enclosure.
small little
called a
enclosure.
Yeah. It's a vestibule. Yeah, in the
you
Catholic Church.
I wonder if
Well, you're Catholic.
the priest
partly.
might be in there sometimes enjoying some vestibule soup in between clients.
Now that you say it,
Well, when you say it
I
like
could
that,
hear a kid who doesn't quite know how to say vegetable. I almost said vestibule. Vestibule.
Any soup that he eats in the vestibule is now vestibule soup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't have
It doesn't have to be
vegetable soup.
Yeah.
Any soup. It could
It's
be
any
chicken
soup.
noodle
Yeah,
soup, but it's
anything.
still vestibule
It's
soup.
still
That's like a-
It'd be the only time they would ever be able to hold an Italian wedding inside a vestibule.
Yeah. And it's a
This
real
guy.
See, I'm on it. I'm back.
That was a good one. Italian wedding soup is really
Yeah,
good.
I
It's
made
good.
some.
Really,
I
really
made
good.
some last night, and it was fucking
Dank.
Mm.
Good. I also love, what's the other famous Italian soup?
chili. I don't know.
No, it's,
I know.
starts with an M, I think.
Hold on. Wait, I know this.
Listeners are going to be
I know what
pissed.
it is.
It's so obvious.
I know what it is. It's my favorite soup. Can I say it?
Minestrone.
Yeah.
Minestrone.
Yeah.
That's a
Thank you.
Class A soup there.
Yeah.
I would take that over Italian wedding, honestly.
Minestrone is the
Minestrone's-
greatest soup, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
I love tomato bisque as well, even though it's very simple. I'm a big tomato bisque
I
fan.
made salmon potato bisque today, and it was lovely.
I really like potato soup as well.
Well,
Big fan
yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
at potato soup too.
Yeah, with cheese and some chives.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's the
I
best
put
way.
onions, bacon, and cheese in my potato soup.
My stomach is fucking growling.
We've talked about food a lot.
Hey, I have a question for you Catholic people.
Ugh.
I love talking Catholicism. I
What
don't
would
know why
you? What would
don't.
your reaction have been? Maybe this happened to you at some point during your.
I never got touched by a priest.
Was
No,
the
not
priest
that.
ever
It's not
eating
that.
soup while I gave a confession? No.
Not soup. Because that's one. Yeah, that would be weird. But maybe just like you go in for confession and he's like crunching chips or
No.
eating
I
a
have never
candy bar.
been in a confessional.
If you've, in my experience as a Catholic person growing up, priests outside of the church are very, kind of jokey. They like to tell jokes and get people to just think that they're like a normal person. Like they'll wear street clothes and stuff, and it's like, oh, it's Father Joe or something, And they act completely like a normal person outside of the church. As much as they can, because priests are not normal people, as we all know. Because they can't have a wife or anything, and that's just like... It's like they're trying to do the Jedi thing in real life, and it just turns them into weirdos. Anyway, but when they're doing their priest thing, they're serious about it. You're not going to catch a priest eating in the confessional.
I guarantee you, some priest at some point took in like a pack of Skittles or
maybe, but he's at least going to suck on them. He's not going to blatantly just chew and just be like, "Tell me your sins, my son."
This one time, funny story. I'm a really big REM fan. I grew up listening to REM.
Love REM.
Also went to Catholic school, and my mom taught at the Catholic school, so we were friends with other teachers, and one of those teachers had a friend who was a priest, or was becoming a priest. One time we were all out at dinner after probably like I don't know. No, I was still in elementary school, so I don't know. We were just out at a pizza place. We were at Casano's, and they had a jukebox, and I asked for some money to play songs on the jukebox, and I got that money. And one of the songs that I picked as a young REM fan was Losing My Religion while we ate dinner with a priest.
Did he say anything about it?
He did not, but my mom was like, "Why did you play this song?" And I was like, "It's REM. I don't know. I don't understand what's wrong with it."
Priests, honestly, they'll debate you about... I remember by the time I was a sophomore in high school at a Catholic school, most of my class was atheist by then. I mean, it was not...
Junior year for me was like when everybody started to really not give a fuck.
It wasn't... And they weren't... At a Catholic school, because it's all boys, you don't really give a fuck, like you just said.
Oh, we were co-ed.
You were co-ed?
Catholic
See, I was all boys. When you're all boys, you got your boys with you. It's like a big ass, like, just like, if you had beer, it'd just be like a bar setting. You just say whatever you want, do whatever you want. Nobody can fucking do anything because it's a Catholic school, and it's hard to describe. It's like being in a fraternity. It's like being in an all-day frat house, and you're just like, even if you got in trouble, your buddy next to you would get in trouble too, and then you'd be in trouble together. And you don't give a fuck if you're in trouble if your buddy's chilling with you, doing brick sheets in detention. So it was kind of it was sort of like a breeding ground for not giving a shit about anything. So by the time you're a sophomore, you're in those religion classes just raising your hand like, so next, did Jesus bang a goat? And the guy's just like, okay, come on, you know? But they don't do anything. Like, I just remember writing in answers like, then Moses molested a child, you know, and you still pass the class because it's fucking religion class.
Religion class was a joke.
Oh man, I had an Old Testament class, and people would just like, we played the telephone game. For those of you who don't know the telephone game, you should, because it's fun. You pick a phrase or something, you know, a sentence, and you start it, and then by the time it gets around the whole room, you see how close it is to the beginning phrase by the time it gets to the last person. And who knows what the phrase was? It was probably like, Moses led the Jews out of Egypt, because it's an OT, Old Testament course. The last kid who had to say what it was to the teacher would not say it. And the teacher forced him to, and he said, the guy's name was Mr. Vanoli, and he said, out loud to a grown man, Mr. Vanoli likes to give rim jobs.
Oh, that's so good.
I will never fucking forget that as long as I live. I still tell that story.
What?
It still makes people laugh. It will always make people laugh.
What did Mr. Vanoli do when...
Brick sheet. That's what he said
What
immediately.
What does that mean?
It's a punishment where you get a piece of paper with a bunch of like small bricks on it, like a grid, and you have to write in every like one word per brick for the whole sheet, and he would give you like a sentence to write. So you're just writing this sentence over and over again in tiny boxes. Who cares?
Yeah,
it was funny as hell.
Better than sitting through class.
Yeah. That's like, it sounds like something that would be oddly satisfying to finish and look at it and be like,
yeah,
I finished my brick sheet today. I feel like Nick would like that because of his oddly small handwriting.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
What if some joker in your class filled his brick sheet with Mr. Vanoli likes to give rim jobs?
I think somebody did that once. I think he gave them a sentence and they just wrote that Mr. Vanoli jacks off or something in every brick, over and over again, and then he just made them do it again.
We had a deacon as our sophomore religion teacher.
Yeah,
an actual deacon.
What is a deacon? What is that?
I don't fucking know.
Because I grew up in Southern Baptist Church, and there were deacons there. Never really knew what that meant or what they do.
Deacons in the Catholic Church are just like assistants to the priest. They're not really anything. They're kind of like the bitch.
They can give out communion, but they can't make it Jesus.
No. Because the priest makes it Jesus. Because Catholics believe that motherfucker waves his hand over the body and blood. Well, it's not.
Crackers,
it's the crackers and wine.
And all of a sudden,
and then when
Jesus.
he waves his hand, it's now the actual body and blood of Christ.
I just
not an interpretation. It's absolutely what you're supposed to believe.
You get to do a little cannibalism there. And
I just go back to
it's
when
called
I was
transubstantiation.
I go back to when I was eighth grade, freshman year, even into sophomore year, and I was in Catholic school my whole life, and I started going to youth group I was in
I didn't know
Catholic,
Catholics
but then
did.
I started. Well, they don't. I started going to a Methodist youth group.
Okay,
but still,
it's probably the closest
same basic
denomination
shit.
to Catholicism is probably Methodist.
Where I am in my life now, and I just look back and just think about how ridiculous everything sounds when I think about religion and what I was taught for my whole life.
Yeah,
I'm just this is
the way Bill Burr puts it is
fucking crazy.
If you heard this story when you were an adult, would you believe it? No. The reason you believe it is because they taught it to you when you were 4 years old. When they taught you about Santa Claus and fucking the Easter Bunny. Back then, a guy walking on water made fucking sense. But now, you think about it, and you're like, well, nope.
Nope. I don't
if I heard that as a 25-year-old, I'd be like, bullshit. And it's true.
Or if someone came out and said, hey, I'm back. I'm Jesus.
It's happened.
Well, I know,
but if it really was him, you mean?
Yeah, people would be like...
You're like, wow, shit, man. I guess I'm the idiot who didn't buy all the
no one would believe him. Not even
No,
Christians.
that's what I'm saying, is people wouldn't even... People would probably be like, well, he's probably a magician doing magic tricks. It's he's like Chris Angel.
He'd have to perform legit-ass miracles.
Walking on water wouldn't do it.
No.
He'd have to remove the crack of your ass. And make it just one blob of skin.
If a frog jumped up on his back legs and just walked away. That's what it would have to look like.
It would have to sing the song from Looney Tunes. Though,
but even, I feel if somebody came back, if Jesus came back, still nobody would believe him. Even if he was legitimately performing miracles, nobody would believe him unless he performed a miracle, on them or in their presence. What if there was news coverage, Jesus performing miracles in Wisconsin? People I'd be in Ohio nope. That's fake.
That's fucking
That's fake. This is a magician. Why are they even reporting this? This is bullshit, But the people in Wisconsin are like, oh my god, Jesus is really back. Yeah. And I'm like, paid.
Yeah.
There's that girl from, the Sandy Hook shooting who's in all the mass shooting.
I wouldn't believe it until Jesus came to my house and was like, oh hey, here's a fish and loaf behind your ear.
I'd still be like, you're a good magician. You're doing a good job.
Jesus Christ, mind freak.
Can you fool Penn and Teller?
Penn and Teller would come out and dispel all of his tricks, too. Here's how he did it.
Some of the shit I've seen.
Christ, mind freak. Can you draw like Jesus like this with his shirt
Jesus
off?
Christ with Chris Angel's head. Or maybe Jesus Christ's head on Chris Angel's clothing. Like his gothic
he already
style
kind of
clothing.
looks
He
like
already kind of looks
and he has walked on water.
Hey, I like David Blaine the best.
David Blaine's really good.
Street Magic ones are always good.
The one where he made Harrison Ford tell him to get the fuck out of his house
that's
my favorite.
That's fun.
I've never seen that before.
It's so good.
I haven't seen that.
I won't even tell you what it's about. You just gotta watch it. Just David Blaine, Harrison Ford. It's classic. It's one of the best.
So we've got about 10 minutes left. I feel like we should start narrowing down our topics, what we're going to pick for next week. So we've really only brought up one definitive option so far.
I got another one right when you said that.
So this topic is we're gonna just
the whole cast is going to be about this one thing.
Yeah,
I mean we might deviate a little, but it's going to be centered on this one.
It'll
thing.
start there.
Yeah, well,
we're
terrible at staying on topic.
Yeah,
and then we might have to rein it back in.
So right now,
it's terrible at staying on topic.
Calling him out.
We're looking at Haley
talk
Joel
about how
Osment
I'm
versus
terrible.
Jonathan Lipnicki. That's one.
Is
They're
it
competing
specifically
careers and who's better suited for the role of young Harrison Ford?
Yeah,
in Star Wars anthology Han Solo?
The better the career, the more likely you are to attain the role of young Han Solo.
Yeah,
that's
the one topic so far.
That's one so far.
You said you thought of something else.
Mine is less tongue-in-cheek than that. I actually kind of want to talk about why the movie Monster Squad didn't become a cult classic a la Goonies, something like that, because I think it's just as good.
That could be a cool topic. Just I don't know. Have you seen Monster Squad?
You would love it.
No, I have not.
See, this would
If
be
you haven't seen it, you would love it.
I feel like
he
really
jumped
good.
up instantly. That
got
means
it on-
Nick loves the movie.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Well, it's amazing. It's a great
think,
movie.
I think that would be a cool topic too, because you would get the juxtaposition of you guys having seen it as children and growing up with it and loving it. You didn't see it as a kid.
Correction, I saw Monster Squad as a kid, was a huge fan of it, didn't see the Goonies till I was in my 20s.
Oh.
I'm
I
talking
flipped
about
the
the
script.
Goonies,
Yeah, I'm the complete opposite there.
Yeah, most
I
people
loved the Goonies.
Most people grew up with Goonies, and then Monster Squad's been low-key awesome for 30 years.
I know,
to
but
use
that's
the
not what I
parlance
was
of our
talking
time.
about.
What were you talking
The
about?
juxtaposition of you and Nick having seen Monster Squad as kids, and Dale and I watching it for the first time as adults.
Right. That would be cool, because I still have the rose-colored glasses, but when I just rewatched it on Netflix, it held up really well.
Yeah.
Going back in as an adult.
And the reason I think it would be interesting is because I never saw the Goonies as a kid either, and I've never made it through it as an adult.
Wow.
You don't like it?
I actually watched it for the first time with Nick and Jess. It was Ivy, me, Nick and Jess, kind of watching it on the couch downstairs, and I really enjoyed it.
I actually tried to watch it 3 or 4 times.
I am super bummed out by that.
Yeah, I'm bummed that you don't like the Goonies either. I'm kind of worried about Monster Squad now.
I've never made it through.
Really? You just turn it off?
I fall asleep or turn it off or
Dang.
whatever. It just...
That's a bummer. But speaking of the Goonies, this is the first time I've sat this close to this chunk action figure.
Nick has a chunk action figure on his wall.
Astonishing how much that doesn't look like chunk.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's not good. Not good. But anyway.
Yeah.
I can't... No, man. Didn't like
Goonies is good.
I was going to say, I liked that movie a lot.
Well, to
What's
each
her
his
name?
own. You could hate Monster Squad, too, because you haven't seen that either.
I don't, because it seems right up my alley.
It's so good. Monster Squad, I'll give you my strength for it without giving away any plot. There's literally no exposition.
Yeah.
By that I mean the movie is just scene. They do stuff the whole time. There's never a 20-minute explanation of why everything's happening. It's just a straight up action movie for kids. It's it's completely made for people with short attention spans. So it really locks you in and doesn't let you, as long as you're into the story and you're not, distracted by outside stimuli.
Let's see what Nick thinks about that idea, because it would force me to watch Monster Squad, which
I would love for you to watch
the
it.
Kick that I need, because it's on my Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Just have never,
it's in high definition.
And committed to it.
It's gloriously 80s. The effects aren't the effects hold up. It's got a badass, one of my favorite Wolfman looks in it.
I've always thought the creature in it looks cool.
The creature looks fucking awesome. He's nice and slimy, and the practical realism of him, he doesn't look like a fake thing. He looks like a real organism that lives. It's not fucking CGI, There's cursing and people getting killed and stuff in a kid's movie. It's borderline adult like the Goonies is. So, or Goonies. I don't think there's a "the" in the title. I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive. I think it's just No, the Goonies. The Goonies. Should just be Goonies. I think that'd be cooler. Maybe when they reboot it inevitably in 5 years.
They shouldn't do that.
No.
You don't think
they
might?
I don't think they should, but they probably will.
That's what I was saying. I'm not saying they
They're
should.
already rebooting my favorite horror movie of all time, and it came out in 2008.
What's that?
Is it a French one?
Yeah.
Probably to make it in English, I would imagine.
No, Spanish people are
What?
remaking it. Yeah.
Really?
It would make sense if they were going to try to get it to a broader audience of English-speaking watchers.
The people, the
like
guy
The Ring
that
and stuff?
the guy that made Rec, which is the Spanish Quarantines, the original.
Okay.
Is the one writing it and remaking it, and even the website that I was reading the article on was we're not really sure why this is happening because it's never going to be as good as the original.
Yeah. It's like what I heard about the movie Old Boy. That's supposed to be an amazing action movie from Japan.
It's I wouldn't say it's an action movie. I'd say it's it's a fucked up revenge movie as well.
Fucked up revenge movie with action sequences.
There is a few action sequences.
Yeah. But they redid it with Josh Brolin in the title role, and people were pissed.
I've heard that
it was even made.
I've heard that it's not the worst thing ever, but it is pretty bad, and it's not worth watching. Yeah, but I have the original on DVD. It's man, if you the plot twist at the end, what makes it fucked up, is really subtle.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it the first time I watched it. And when I did realize it, it's damn. It's one of the most fucked up plot twists I've seen in a movie. And luckily they kept it for the American version, although I haven't seen the American version.
Have you seen the reboot of Total Recall?
I've not.
Me neither. Do you have any desire to?
I had a buddy that I used to work with that said he saw it in theaters, blazed out of his mind, and said it was fucking awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, if he was blazed out of his mind, you can't.
But I think he rewatched it sober and said it was still really good.
Huh. I've heard it's really bad, so I'd have to. I'm all for giving something an objective.
Keep an open mind. Anything can be good.
Because
I
usually
love Starship Troopers, and that movie's not that great.
Yeah. Well, people are probably thinking that about Monster Squad when I'm talking it up to be this amazing. Yeah. But it's really just, a cool kids movie that's got monsters in it, really.
Right.
When it comes down to it.
Yeah.
What the people listening to this podcast don't know is that Nick promptly left the room when these gentlemen said they've never seen Monster Squad. Here he is.
He's back. I was disgusted.
Couldn't find your copy?
No, because I hadn't seen it.
Oh, had to leave the room.
He left because he was disgusted. Well, we talked about how cool it would be to have two people with the perspective of seeing Monster Squad for the first time as adults, and then two people who saw it as children, grew up with loving it, and still love it as adults.
That would be fun.
Yeah, so I think that's a relatively good topic as long as the guys do their homework.
It's on Netflix.
We can just,
Yep, it's on Netflix. It can happen. No problem.
What do you think between Haley Joel and Monster Squad?
Who would get the role for Han Solo? Haley Joel Osment or Monster Squad?
Or the movie Monster Squad. I'll go with Monster Squad on VHS.
I was going to say, while I think that the Haley-Jonathan debate could be lively, I'm for the just viewing Monster Squad and getting opinions and comparing notes and, you know.
I'm cool with that as well. I think it'd be more of a tongue-in-cheek kind of a fuck-all scenario with the Haley Joel Osment thing.
Yeah.
But I think
for a starting,
I think we'll have fun with it still.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah, we just
watch. And I really want these guys to see it. That's really my other
our topic
motivation.
for next week can just be Monster Squad.
Okay.
And we can, on that, kind of branch off into why we think it didn't develop. I mean, it does technically have a cult status, but it's not anywhere nearly as revered as a movie like Goonies. So
sure, okay.
I could also watch Goonies because I've never seen it.
Yeah. He said while you were gone, which you were already pissed about Monster Squad, that he's never been able to watch Goonies all the way through. Yeah. He's either turned it off or fallen asleep.
Every time.
And
You've turned it off?
Yeah.
Why would you turn off Goonies?
That's what it gave me some a little bit of reticence for his Monster Squad thoughts because it's basically Goonies with Universal monsters.
That's disappointing.
I didn't like Labyrinth either.
I've never seen Labyrinth. I'd like to watch it.
Don't watch it now.
Well, I don't just accept the opinion of the masses on stuff. I like to give things an objective try.
Haters.
Yeah. It's like everybody who busted my balls over not hating the RoboCop reboot. It's not that I thought it was good or better than the original. I said it was a good popcorn action movie, and people were like, "Fuck you, dude!"
Every time I cross over it on Netflix or Hulu, I'm like, I wouldn't mind watching that.
It's entertainment for an hour and a half. I mean, it's not going to change your life. Neither did the first RoboCop.
That's why I watched Hercules with Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, I watched that one day too, and I was like, wow, that was
not?
And then when it was over, I wasn't pissed.
Sucks balls.
Yeah, I was just like, that was a waste of time, but whatever.
I'm not that mad, I guess.
I wasn't actively just like, fuck you, Dwayne Johnson. I'm never going to watch one of your movies again. But yeah, Hercules was fucking awful. I'll admit that.
So, Monster Squad next week.
Squad.
That's what we'll talk about.
Monster Squad. And if you don't know the movie, watch it. It's a great 80s flick. You can have an 80s night and pop some popcorn and have your...
And hey, this is going to be fun. That means in the lead up to the cast next week, we'll have some great portraits coming your way. And some cool music. I don't think that the music is necessarily going to have to be from the soundtrack, but I will...
That one song in the montage when the kid's making the silver bullets in fucking shop class.
Yeah, we'll have to
that song is fucking awesome.
But we'll... any song for video of the day will tie in somehow.
Yes.
So, yeah. But yeah, we've gotten to the end of our time here for this first shit show. And
hope you enjoyed it. Hope you hung in there with us and didn't turn it off or fall asleep. But if you did, you can always pop it on later and finish it up like a normal person.
Pop off a piece of that cast. All right, folkies. We'll see you next week, next Saturday on the Super Divorce SUPERCAST. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye. Have a good one.
Super Divorce.